Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a super wealthy child in Donald Trump's household? Ivanka is not someone you can pass off as a spoiled rich kid. She is also arguably the most powerful and influential first daughter of America in history. The Trump family tree may not precisely produce a lot of geniuses, but Ivanka stands out as the perfect apple of her father's eye. This is the trillionaire life of Ivanka Trump. Early life and education. Ivanka Marie Trump was born on October 30th, 1981 in Manhattan, New York City. She, like all of us, wailed "wee" like a baby when she took her first breath. However, she was destined to live a life that most of us can only fantasize about or laugh at. This tiny girl was born into the family of a vicious real estate billionaire Donald Trump and his wife, Ivana Trump, a Czech-American model after whom she was named. Donald and Ivana were both powerful in their own ways. Donald Trump was well known at the time for his wealth and was a source of contention for many people. Her mother was the peak of beauty and had established herself as a model. It is clear that young Ivanka was born with a silver spoon in her mouth, with Trump's name prominently carved on it. The small child was a distinct blend of her father's German and Scottish brutishness and her mother's Eastern European elegance. She was born second to two brothers, Donald Jr. and Eric, who competed like young kids in a ring to be daddy and mommy's favorite. However, when Ivanka was just 9 years old, her parents divorced in 1990, exposing her to the harsh realities of life. She watched the entire drama develop, but she probably didn't comprehend anything except that dad and mum weren't polite to each other. Even then, her childhood was not without its luxuries. She attended two of Manhattan's premier schools, Christ Church and Chapin, for her grade-level education. These schools were not known for playing around with its demanding academics and standards, which were designed to shape the behavior of trust fund children. At the age of 15, she transferred to Choate Rosemary Hall in Connecticut, a boarding school attended by numerous celebrities, including John F. Kennedy and Jamie Lee Curtis. It was also the ideal place for her to hide from Manhattan's probing paparazzi, who would do everything to publish a story about Trump and his ex-wife. She may have left all of the lights of New York behind, but she did not abandon the splendor. In later interviews, her mother disclosed that she took up modeling on weekends and vacations, indicating that she was probably more influenced by her mother's preferences than her father's economic sense. I'm not sure how it would affect her academic performance. After all, something has to give in her marks whenever she spends time catwalking the night before a school year exam. She graduated from Choate in 2000, then went on to spend 2 years at Georgetown University before pulling the ultimate Trump power move, moving to the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School, where she graduated with honors in economics, and suddenly she was ready to follow in her father's footsteps. Involvement in daddy's business. Many people would take the advice, "You are just getting into the business world. Just take it slow." Ivanka Trump did not start small at all. She went straight into the world of real estate. She jumped right in. After graduating from Wharton, Ivanka swiftly joined the Trump Organization as Executive Vice President of Development and Acquisitions, a title that sounds like it was designed to fit on a very large business card. Ivanka wasn't just there for the show or to play daddy's girl, she got right down to business. In 2012, she single-handedly led the Trump Organization's successful bid to develop the historic Old Post Office in Washington, D.C. She also oversaw its $200 million makeover into a luxury hotel. She transformed a deteriorating relic into a Trump-branded gem by 2016, an achievement that had everyone in the real estate industry talking about how incredibly brilliant she was and just how she was just like her father. If there's one thing Ivanka learned from her dad, it's that everything looks better with a T on it, especially in gold. But Ivanka wasn't just into high-stakes real estate. She chose to capitalize on her fame, and good genes if you ask me, by creating her own jewelry line, which she called Ivanka Trump Fine Jewelry in 2007. Diamonds, check. Gold, double check. And a Manhattan flagship store? You can as well say easy peasy. Not one to rest on her laurels, she expanded into shoes, purses, and clothing. Her fashion empire swiftly took off, and Ivanka-branded things could be found everywhere, from stores like Macy's to Hudson's Bay. She did not stop there. The woman was on fire. By 2010, her brand was generating over $500 million a year, and, in classic Trump fashion, controversy just seemed to be in the blood. Ivanka's initiatives were not without some negativity. Around that time, the company was sued for borrowing a few ideas from another company, and she had to pay a fine. There was a time when some arrested investigators poked around her shoe facilities in China. Despite selling bling and shoes, she kept one foot firmly planted in her father's business, working as a paid consultant for the Trump Organization while pursuing her own entrepreneurial goals. Her moves were more than just shrewd. They were classic Trump: loud, large, stepping on other people's toes, and certain to create headlines. Her role role in American politics, Ivanka Trump walked in on the political scene with her designer shoes and all in 2015 when she introduced her father at Trump Tower as he announced his candidacy for President of the United States. And just like that, America was introduced to the woman who would become Donald Trump's most polished public defender. At one moment, Ivanka was praising her father on radio ads. The next, she was admitting, "As a citizen, I love what he's doing. As a daughter, it's obviously more complicated." She was down for any chance to show she has her daddy's back. Ivanka made numerous appearances during the 2016 campaign, despite the fact that she was unable to vote for her father in the New York primary due to a failure to register as a Republican. Oops. However, nothing could stop her from shining at the Republican National Convention, where she presented her father with a speech so polished that it could have been sponsored by her fashion line. When Donald Trump became president, Ivanka didn't just play the role of the proud daughter who acted as his spokesman. She became advisor to the president, taking an office in the West Wing. She was said not to have taken a salary for the role, but still she wielded considerable influence, especially on issues like women's empowerment, launching initiatives like the Women's Global Development and Prosperity Initiative. Critics pointed out that some of her initiatives seemed more like PR moves than policy. Whether warming up to world leaders at the G20 or dropping a casual hello to Kim Jong-un during peace talks, Ivanka was everywhere. The few supporters she had saw her as a modern diplomat who knew just how to use the media the right way. Other opponents merely saw her as a businesswoman out of her depth. Either way, Ivanka was undeniably a Trump in every sense, proving once and for all that, in Ivanka's world, everything, even politics, is an opportunity to build the brand. Daddy's favorite daughter and supporter. If one thing is evident about the Trump family dynamic, it is that Ivanka is Donald's golden kid, and he does not take her for granted. Don Jr. and Eric could as well be in the room with a large neon sign that reads, "Hey, what about us?" But sorry boys, Ivanka has this one, and the evidence is everywhere. Everyone knows she's the apple of Daddy's eye, and it's easy to understand why. Donald Trump referred to her as a natural leader, and boasted about her abilities rather than his own. In the Trump universe, that's almost like King Henry bestowing knighthood on someone deserving. Ivanka has always done her part with ruthless efficiency. She has been Donald's most steadfast supporter, from his boardrooms to the White House. She even co-founded Girl Up with the United Nations Foundation in 2010 to encourage young girls to become global leaders. It's difficult to find a cause that isn't benefited by the Trump brand, even if it's about empowering girls all over the world. Ivanka understands how to be Daddy's little helper on a global level. But don't forget her participation on the board of the Donald J. Trump Foundation, which was liquidated for persistently illegal conduct. When the state of New York ordered Daddy Trump to pay a $2 million settlement for misusing the foundation, Ivanka was right there with her brothers, taking mandatory charitable giving 101 instruction. Talk about a family bonding experience. Her status as her father's favorite daughter does not imply that she has been complacent. She's never let herself be defined only by the billionaire's daughter status. Ivanka has been involved in a variety of humanitarian efforts, including donating proceeds from her book Women Who Work and purchasing generators for Ukrainian churches. And don't forget, in the current Russian-Ukraine conflict, she organized cargo planes carrying medical supplies for Ukraine, showing more of her compassion for the more honorable causes. Through it all, Ivanka has maintained a strong, almost telepathic bond with her dad. She has always praised his leadership abilities, describing him as someone who empowers others, even when millions of other people think he is always getting some BS cooking. The entire family has even admitted on TV that she is their favorite child. Perhaps it's her charisma, her bilingual skills, or simply the fact that she shows her love to Daddy Dearest in the boldest ways, putting her brand on the line. Whatever it is, Ivanka has Trump's mark of approval, which she wears proudly. Relationship and net worth. Ivanka Trump's love life has almost been as headline-worthy as her business ventures, and just as strategic. Her first relationship that hit the headlines was with Greg Hirsch during college, a relationship that lasted nearly 4 years. Greg Hirsch, Ivanka's first college boyfriend, met her while they were both students at Georgetown University. Greg, an investment banker by trade, wasn't exactly the typical frat boy, more like the guy who'd help you balance your checkbook after a date. They eventually called it quits in 2001, but unlike most college breakups, theirs didn't end with deleted phone numbers and awkward run-ins. In a 2007 interview, Ivanka mentioned that they managed to stay friends. From 2001 to 2005, she dated James Bingo Goobelman, whose name sounds like a family game night. James and Ivanka were a power couple for 4 years, moving through the same exclusive social circles in New York City. James, ever the ambitious director, released the 2003 documentary Born Rich, which, surprise, surprise, included a few cameos by Ivanka herself. Time to say, "Aw, that's so romantic." Not long after they parted, we later found out that bingo was just the warm-up act. In 2005, she met real estate developer and her partner in world domination, Jared Kushner. He seemed like someone she met while running some errand for her dad. They hit it off right away. The relationship went on for 3 whole years, but hit the rocks in 2008 when Kushner's parents decided Ivanka wasn't quite kosher enough for their taste, and the lovebirds had split up. Sad, right? But love, like any good business deal, found a way. She converted to Judaism, and a year later, they got married in what was a grand wedding ceremony, Jewish style, some days before her birthday in 2009. Now, they have 3 beautiful kids, with their first child, Arabella Rose, born in 2011. The second born is Joseph Frederick in 2013, and the third child, Theodore James, was born in March 2016. Raising the children led to a pretty challenging phase for her. She was still at the peak of her business career, and then there's her occasional government side gigs. She had to combine all of these together with motherhood. She opened up about the struggles when she confessed that she went straight into postpartum depression after each of her pregnancies. It is beautiful to think about how much she has achieved, but her actual heroic works showed how she juggled her personal struggles while still keeping her empire afloat. As for her net worth, she is not a billionaire like her pops, but she will probably be someday. It's estimated to be around $300 million, give or take a few million, for the beach house, the couture wardrobe, and the personal trainers. She and Jared live the good life, moving from Manhattan penthouses to an expensive mansion in Washington, D.C., and even picking up a $30 million plot on Miami's exclusive billionaire Bunker Island. After all, who needs just a mansion when you can own a slice of paradise? If you enjoyed this video, click the video on your screen to watch another exciting video.